Welcome to the Leadership Upgrade Podcast. I'm Dr. Kevin. In this podcast, we explore what it truly takes to become the kind of leader that people trust, respect, and want to follow. If you're a high achieving entrepreneur or executive and you want to upgrade your leadership from the inside out, this is the place for you. So welcome. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future episodes where we dive deep into conscious leadership, personal mastery, and building organizations that thrive. And if you want a full blueprint for upgrading your leadership, check out my new book, Lead Yourself First, the High Achiever's Guide to Upgrade Your Leadership. Grab a copy today by visiting upgradeyourleadership.com. Join the movement and upgrade your leadership. Now, let's get down to today's episode. I'm Dr. Kevin Mays, excited to have you here today as we talk about how to lead more effectively. Just a reminder, if you haven't grabbed a copy of Lead Yourself First, do that because it's the playbook if you want to lead with greater conscious intention and purpose. Now, along that pathway, I'm excited to have a guest with us today, Beth Iaciofano, who has really stepping deeply into the world of coaching and really mindset as much as anything. After 17 years teaching middle school and understanding how we form our minds as humans, now she's kind of jumped ship, I'll say, and jumped into the world of entrepreneurship and is now working as an educator, a coach, and a speaker in New York to help people overcome their limiting beliefs and live life purpose. Welcome, Beth. Great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm really intrigued. What is it that drives a person to give up the consistent stability that comes with middle school teaching to jump into this unpredictable world of entrepreneurship? How'd you make the decision?
It came over quite a few years, actually. I was terrified to leave, even though I knew that I was ready to leave and I needed to leave. So it really what it came down to was I was terrified to leave, but I was more terrified to stay. So that's what really made me say, I can't do it anymore. And I had already been picking up pieces of the energetic puzzle for years. And I had started to take this energy class actually to really learn more about it. And that's really what opened up my heart and my ability to have the courage. Because what I talk on when I'm a speaker is going from doubt to trust. And that's what I needed to do. I needed to go from doubting that I would be okay to trusting that I would be okay if it felt right, if what I was doing felt right. So it was really tapping into my inner knowing and trusting that I was going to be okay no matter what.
That's fantastic. So you had your fear of staying outweighed your fear of jumping ship. What was it? I mean, in that living in that place of dissonance, what is that experience like in those moments before you made the decision? What was that experience like?
I started to get really uncomfortable probably 4 years before I had the courage to leave. And I just was not I loved teaching middle school and was very fulfilled doing it until I wasn't. And my body, I just started to not enjoy it as much. And I was scared to leave. Then COVID happened. So then we got forced into virtual learning and that stress and just a new set of expectations. And even more uncomfortable in the job, but still doing it. And then I took a new job in the building as a food science teacher. I made the curriculum and I thought, oh, this is what I need. I just need to get out of the cluster and do this. That wasn't what I needed. So it felt like in my body was total discomfort. I was miserable. I didn't want to go into work. I was coming home crying. And it wasn't the work. It wasn't my colleagues, it wasn't the administration, it was the students. It was really hard. I felt like a brand new teacher. The management was just, but you know what it was? The universe was telling me, you need a big kick in the butt to get out, and this is it. that last year teaching was the worst year I'd ever had.
If I
And
could just pause you
after,
really quick. And let me pause you for a quick second there, because I think what you're saying is so powerful and profound. I just want to pause on it a little bit, because I think it's something that so many of us entrepreneurs can relate to. Being in a position that is so uncomfortable, and we're just completely overwrought with stress. When we get home at night, Monday morning before work, we're just anxiety ridden. And at some point, the universe kicks us in the butt. The universe says, listen, this is not the path. I know I found it for myself, and many, it's interesting. A lot of folks deal with it differently. And I've experienced people who have a job will end up just working for the weekend, and they can
yeah,
turn it off. But entrepreneurs really can't turn it off, and they realize, I can't do this. You need to jump. And the risk, and I love the way you describe it, the fear of staying outweighed the fear of going. And so you leapt. And when you made that decision, what happened in your mind? Like, tell me about what your mind looked like when you made the decision that you were going to become an entrepreneur.
it was incredibly freeing, but terrifying. It was
Mm-hmm.
freeing because I knew it was right. It felt too right to be wrong. I held on to that belief. This feels too right to be wrong. And I caution, because whenever you leave a job, you always feel good. You're like, oh no, this is what I need. I'm invigorated. I'm energized. So I knew that was like part of, just part of it. I knew I was going to be energized, and it was going to take work, internal work, to continue to stay grounded. And yes, this is the right move. So yeah, I was really invigorated and excited for what was coming next. And things started plopping in front of me that I felt, oh no, this sounds like good. This sounds like a good idea. I'm going to take action on this. And things started working out. And I felt like, no, I'm home. This is what I'm meant to do at this time. Now, fast forward 3 years later, my business looks completely different now than it did when I first started it. And I found my way. I've navigated through the waters and found what really my next mission is.
Well, so I'm super curious of how the reality of owning a business was different than your conception of it before you owned it.
Oh, it was completely different. It was a big slap in the face. Like, hello, you didn't know what you were getting into. It really was. I didn't know what I was getting into. In a lot of ways, my husband has his own business. He's a contractor. So I knew a lot of what it entailed. But this business that I have is completely different. And navigating it, going out of the home every single day, 5 days a week, to having to have the structure of staying home and navigating what do I do next? What do I do next? And it was terrifying, but I really had to sit in the knowing that I was doing what felt right. I was taking action on what felt right. And I felt the fear. And I've let it wash over me, and I stayed true to know that the fear is normal. That's just a version of me that wants to be safe. That's trying to get me to go back to where I was before, because it was the known. I knew how to teach. I was good at it. I was making decent money. That was a known. Even though I was uncomfortable, it was known. So that version of me wanted to keep getting me to go back to that.
There. Yeah, it's amazing. I think of it the way I think of it is like you committed to a deep alignment with the vision of who you were becoming. And it's like the old programs, though, and all the work you've done for decades in your life kept pulling you back. And it's interesting. You think about your brain because is like structured and over those years to behave a certain way. And it kept calling you, no, come back and do this thing. And that'll drive the fear. It's unfamiliar terrain. So how did you, like, with that fear? I love it. One thing I think that's powerful is I think of it as intention, right? So you have clarity of your vision of where you're going. And then you didn't react to the fear. How do you keep yourself from reacting to the frustration, the guilt, the fear, whatever it is, the sensation in your body? That's pretty profound. How do you do it?
You know what? Here's the thing, though. I didn't necessarily have a clear view of where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of the fear, because I had always
Mm-hmm.
been the type of person to want to know A, B, C, D, E, and F before I did something. I was the one that saw every single possibility before I jumped. I didn't know where I was going to land. That was part of the trust
Mm-hmm.
that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And what it allowed me to do was to be open to possibilities. So what I did was I sat in the feeling of what I wanted. I sat with the feeling of, okay, this is how I want to feel doing my job. I want to help people. I want to be of service. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to be peaceful. So I sat with that feeling and then allowed things to come in that I could take action on. Did it mean that I didn't ever get frustrated? Oh, I got frustrated beyond belief because, oh, this isn't working. This isn't working. I'm throwing spaghetti up against the wall, trying to make it stick, and nothing's sticking. And why isn't it working? And we all go through that. Why isn't it working fast enough? Why isn't it happening? And it's only by looking back at it now, I see the purpose of every single step and the foundation that I have. And that's part of, I think, what us as humans, we want to get to the end. And there is no end. The only end is so what I perceived as the end was just part of the trip. So I kind of think of it as I'm going on this vacation and I'm going to stop at all these destinations on my way. So each part of my business, each step that I took was a different place to see and different things to learn and different opportunities for me to learn. So I stopped looking at as, okay, I want to be a coach and I want to coach one-on-one and I want to do this, 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 and this. Instead, I did the work internally. You asked what I did. I did the internal work to unpack the beliefs that I had that kept me stuck in a job much longer than I really wanted to be there. I figured out why I was so afraid. Why did I need control? What was I afraid of? And I stepped into trusting that I was going to be able to handle no matter what came along. And then opened myself up to different possibilities. I was not intending 3 years ago to be where I am right now, stepping into speaking and on live stages. That wasn't even a thought that I had. So if I stayed stuck in, no, I want to do one-on-one coaching and kept pushing and pushing and pushing, even though it didn't feel aligned anymore, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I think how I help my clients and what I speak on stage is trusting your intuition and trusting that you're going to be okay no matter what, because you are. And that was the hardest thing for me to learn. And
Yeah.
for
So
me to
you talk about doing your own work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
what is doing your own work? How do you do your own work?
Well, what happened is when I stepped away from teaching, an opportunity came in for this coaching program to be a neurotransformational life coach, which means just changing the way you think. And that was a year-long program where I got certified. And what it was amazing, an amazing opportunity, because since it was a year long, not only did we have classes, we coached each other. We had these different exercises that we were taught how to do, and then we practiced them over and over and over again so that they became embodied. So what I did was, when I was being coached, I brought real problems to the table, real things that I was going through. So I was actually going through coaching for a year. And what that did was it helped me unpack my limiting beliefs. What belief do I have around money? What belief do I have around taking a job that I don't know what's going to happen as a result? What beliefs do I have? What societal beliefs do I have that aren't supporting me anymore? So there's so many things, and I started to then kind of step away from that, because I really am into the energy side of it and understanding what's happening in the body. What are the cells of your body doing? So the science now is coming in to this. The science teacher in me is like, I want to understand how the body's responding to this energy. I'm having these thoughts that aren't supporting me. I don't feel good. I feel fearful. I feel angry. That doesn't feel good in the body. What's that doing to my body? How can I shift it? How can I make it work for me? So that's where now I've pivoted. And that's what business is all about. It's pivoting. It's figuring out, okay,
Mhm.
this isn't working for me. What is working for me? Let me tap into my body and listen. Does this feel good? Does this feel right? We've all been in situations where we didn't feel right. Like we walk into a room, it doesn't feel right. If we feel off, that's energy. So I really dove into the world of energy and understanding it, how it affects your body, and then how you can use it to your advantage, and how you can use it to see the world in a different way. And that's where I am today.
Yeah, interesting. So for May's leadership, we work with a lot of executives and leaders. So how does this apply to any executive out there listening? What does awareness of the body have to
Mm.
do to help an executive become better at what they're doing?
Oh my gosh, completely. I mean, the talk that I give is especially for leaders, because so often, and I'm a leader. Every job I had, I was a supervisor. So I am just drawn to being a leader. Why do I want to be a leader? Because I wanted to be in control. Why did I want to be in control?
Mhm.
Because I want to know what's going to happen. I want to be the one responsible for making things happen, because then I know what's going to happen. So it was fear based. So
Mhm.
leaders, not all the, I'm still a leader. I still have that mentality, but it's not a leadership from fear. It's a leadership from desire, because I trust myself to lead. I trust that the decisions I make are going to be best for me, for my daughter, for if I'm in any, for my students when I'm teaching. I trust that what I'm doing is best for those that I am leading. So anybody who's in a leadership position not only needs to be understand the information, but they need to have the trust in themselves that they can deliver it in the way that's best for those that they are supporting.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like it. Now, I'm curious though, with fear and control and letting go of control, and you got that need for control legitimately in the course of your life. You adapted this personality style where you had control. It helped you thrive and survive early on, and now here you
Yeah.
are as an adult playing that out and letting go of that. What I'm hearing you say is that creates the fear. Well, so how do you move through that?
Through help. And it's the first
Mm.
step is the awareness, though. The first step is being aware of when you have a thought. So let's say you're in this meeting and you're starting to feel nervous because you're uncomfortable. Tap into, why are you uncomfortable? Do you not know the information that you're trying to tell the people that you're in charge of? Do you think that they're not going to like you? They're going to be upset because you're going to tell them to do something that they don't want to do? How does that make you feel? Because there's a limiting belief that, oh, if people don't like me, there's something wrong with me. So tapping into your body and understanding that your body's talking to you. Why are you uncomfortable right now? What are you thinking? What are those around you saying? Because every experience is neutral. We give it meaning. So if someone says something to you and you take a offense to it, that really just means you have an issue with it to begin with. Because I'm not
Mhm.
going to be bothered by something someone says if I don't already believe it. So, and
Mhm.
a good example is I
Mhm.
have a daughter
Mhm.
with special needs. And when she was 2, we were at the neurologist. The neurologist told me that she's got a diagnosis that fits under autism, and she's nonverbal, she's non-speaking. So I said to the doctor, well, what does that mean? And he said, well, if you're asking me if she'll ever be normal, the answer is no. And I was taken back, like, whoa, I didn't ask that. I started to cry, but I made her words mean something. She was literally just telling me what she thought, but I
Mhm.
made it mean that I'm a bad mom. I did something wrong. My daughter's going to struggle her whole life. So I gave her words meaning. So as a leader, understand that we have a choice on what we make words mean. And if we're going to make them mean something that doesn't feel good in our body, there's a limiting belief that's taking the wheel of the car. Because when we don't feel good, that's a limiting belief that's getting in the way. When we feel good and positive and we have a lot of energy and we're peaceful and joyful, those are supportive beliefs that are helping us feel that way. So it's understanding the difference. What's your body telling you and why is it telling you that?
Now, you talk about beliefs and then what your body tells you. And I'm really curious, like the distinction between the two, because it can be difficult. I mean, like I grew up in a world where big boys don't cry. I give you
Yes.
something to cry about. So what is this, what the body's telling you business? I know my thoughts, I think them.
Mhm.
What's the connection between my thinking and what my body's telling me, whatever that means that you're talking about? Help us understand that.
Your thought, remember, everything in the universe is made of energy, and energy has a vibration to its frequency. So if you let's tap into the body for a second. And if you tell yourself, I'm a bad person, or I can't do this, someone's not going to like me, I am afraid. Those words don't feel good in the body. Me telling myself I'm a bad mom, that does not feel good. I feel a heaviness in my chest. That makes me feel sad. It's a heaviness, literally, because the emotion is energy in motion. Emotion. So emotions have a frequency to their vibration. So when we're fearful, angry, frustrated, grief-ridden, feeling anything that does not feel good, frustrated, the emotion in the body is actually moving very slowly. It's dense, it's heavy. So we feel that heaviness. Anybody who's been in grief or shame for any period of time, they feel heavy. It feels like a weight on their chest. Let me get this weight off my shoulders. That's literally in the body. It's science, it's energy. So that feels different than being light and airy and having joy in your life, feeling love. Literally, hormones are released. If anybody is stressed continually, stress releases cortisol. It's a stress hormone that negatively affects the cells of the body. It kills the cells of your body and makes you sick. As opposed to the good feelings and emotions, those release hormones like adrenaline or serotonin. Those are the happy hormones that make you feel good. So literally, it's a matter of tapping into your body. And you mentioned, as a man, one of the societal programs is that men don't cry. I was raised with a man that felt that way. Now I'm married to a man that does not. So it's interesting how societal programs play into this. But it's being aware that there's a program there that you don't want to believe anymore. Just because society tells you something doesn't mean you need to believe it. And the way you know that there's a limiting belief is that it doesn't feel good. They don't feel good in the body. You're out of alignment with your higher self. That's pure love. So that's the way you know that something's getting in the way. It's not a bad thing. Fear, anger, anxiety, those are not bad emotions. They are alarm systems to pay attention that I'm having a thought. Someone is saying something to me that doesn't feel good, because thoughts trigger emotions. And emotions affect the body.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic to recognize that's a level of awareness on a cognitive level and a physiological / emotional level
Yeah.
that is the key to, well, I would say to back to our podcast, to upgrade your leadership. That's where it starts, to have that kind of awareness. And then, like what you're saying, to make a decision that those old patterns aren't the thing that are going to get you where you want to go, and replace them with newer patterns. What's one thing you would offer to leaders out there who want to upgrade their leadership, who want to now they've developed awareness, they see some of the patterns that aren't getting them where they want to go? Okay, once you have that awareness, what's the mental exercise to do to solidify new patterns? How do you keep new patterns going and maintain them over time so they become normal?
It's a matter of practice and continual, because the old patterns we have, the neural pathways in the brain are deep. It's like, I grew up in the Northeast, so we sled all the time. And once you get a path that's really good, you fly down that path. And it takes effort to make a new path. So think of old habits as that path that you could fly down because it's your go-to. So what needs to happen is it needs to be a continual awareness of your body, of how you're feeling. And I was just on a podcast the other day, and the person that I was talking with mentioned having a coin in his pocket because a coin has two sides. And I told him I was going to steal this because it's brilliant. And he literally has this coin in his pocket. It's something tangible to hold on to, so that when he's having a thought that does not support him, he can say, okay, I can think on the other side. There's two sides to this experience. I can make it mean A or I can make it mean B. That's my choice. But it takes a willingness. And that's a hard thing because you are asking your nervous system to accept a new way of being. And it feels uncomfortable at first. If you're used to responding to a situation in a certain way, and let's say you don't have boundaries, so you let people walk all over you. And as a leader, that's a hard thing. If you want to please everybody all of the time, that is a weight on your shoulders. So not a good way to be as a leader. You have to be strong in knowing that what you're doing is best for everybody involved in the long run. And so having that coin, like, okay, I'm feeling anxious because I'm afraid someone's going to be upset with me. What's the other option? I can stand strong and say, no, this is the right choice. And if they don't like me, okay, I'm not liked by everybody. That's okay. That's their problem. And then what they can also do is say, okay, this person that doesn't like me because I'm asking them to do something, that's an opportunity for them to say, okay, maybe I need a new job. Maybe I need to give in a little bit. Maybe I need to learn as a result of you staying strong and doing what you know is best.
Yeah.
Where's the learning? We're all here to learn lessons. So, we're afraid to learn lessons. We're afraid to make mistakes. And as a leader, we do make mistakes. It happens. And saying, hey, I'm sorry for that. That was kind of a bad choice. I'm going to do better next time. Thank you for the input. What kind of leader are you? Are you afraid of input? Why are you afraid of input? So there's so much to it. But awareness is the foundation of it all. Being aware of what your body's telling you.
I love it. To have awareness of what the body's telling you. Such a powerful message. And for me, I look at it too. I say, well, there's two sides of the coin. Presence, learning to be able to be in this moment, and then have awareness of what is unfolding in the moment as a leader. That's the platform of executive presence. So Beth, this is a fantastic conversation. Thank you for sharing the wisdom that you've accumulated. It's fantastic. Let me ask, if individuals are interested to learn more about you and to kind of connect, how can they do that?
Yeah, the best thing is to go to my website, riseuptotransform.com, or they can email me, riseuptotransform@gmail.com. So I am stepping into speaking, and this is the conversation we had is exactly what I'm on stage talking about. So I would love to talk to anybody who's interested in having me come speak or as a coach.
Beth, it's wonderful. Well, enjoy your time up in beautiful New York. And thanks again for coming up, sharing your wisdom and participating in this conversation, helping leaders upgrade their leadership. That's the work. And I thank you for helping move the ball for all the leaders who are listening today.
Well, thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah, thank you so much. And folks, stay tuned for our next podcast where we will continue the discussion on how to upgrade your leadership so that you can become the inspired executive to follow. For now, be well and be at peace, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Thank you. Hey, thanks for joining us on today's Leadership Upgrade podcast. Now, if you want to continue to challenge your ideas about leadership while increasing your influence, make sure to subscribe to the channel and share this episode with someone you know who wants to become a more inspired executive. If you're ready to take the next major step in upgrading your leadership, don't forget to grab a copy of Lead Yourself First, the High Achiever's Guide to Upgrade Your Leadership, available now. Just go to Upgrade Your Leadership now to secure your copy of the book, and we have additional resources available for those who are truly committed to becoming better. So download the workbook, get the book, and put yourself on a path to become the best version of yourself as a leader. Remember, before you can truly lead others, you must first learn to lead yourself. See you on the next episode. For now, this is Dr. Kevin wishing you well.